Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. So lately we've been discussing different properties that could potentially be returning to Cartoon Network, and today I wanted to talk about the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and how this series could potentially be returning to the network in the form of a movie. So if you guys remember about a year and a half ago, Maxwell Atoms, the creator of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, announced that he had pitched a movie idea to Cartoon Network and was rejected. And the reason for this is because Cartoon Network basically said that kids today don't know what the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is. And I'll leave a card above to that video if you want to hear me go fully in depth on that topic. But essentially, kids don't know what the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is today because you guys don't talk about your older shows. But that has somewhat changed recently. That has changed, as we all know, for the 30th anniversary of Cartoon Network. They were airing reruns of some older series, and if you look at one of the shows that was being rerun on the channel, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So guess what? Now kids know what this series is, so that excuse is no longer valid. And the thing I will say is, when that reason was given for rejecting this series, that was before the Warner Discovery merger. That was when Tom Ashing was still in charge of Cartoon Network, and now Michael Owaleen is in charge. Michael Owaleen was working at Cartoon Network while the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was on the air. He was the head of creative. He was one of the people who was greenlighting these series, so he would be someone who would probably be more willing to bring these shows back, given that he was working on these series, working on getting them greenlit back at the channel when they first premiered. So because of this, and because of the fact that this show was on the channel, I do think that it is more likely now that this series, or rather this movie, could potentially be greenlit and we could actually see it one day. I don't think it's as likely as, let's say, Symbiotic Titan or Galactic His Next Door, but I do think there is a decent chance that we could see this Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie come out one day, whether it be on Cartoon Network or HBO Max. I feel like it would be a missed opportunity not to, in all honesty, because imagine this. They could do a Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy marathon, right, leading up to this movie on Cartoon Network. They could have all the episodes air. They could have, every single kid who never saw the original series get familiarized with these characters. They could have people like me who grew up watching the original, go back, refresh ourselves on this series, then premiere this movie, let's say either on Cartoon Network or even on HBO Max. Then they could start to market this in a way where maybe we even get a complete series box set for the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Maybe they tie it together with a Blu-ray release for the movie. And all in all, I don't see the downside for them doing this. I feel like them greenlighting this movie, them making this movie, would just bring them more money. And isn't that what they're out to do? Isn't their number one priority to make money? Because look, if you bring back the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie, or rather the series in the form of a movie, what would happen? Number one, people would probably want to go back and watch the original series. I know I would. I would want to watch the series from start to finish to just refresh myself on these characters, because I definitely used to watch the series back in the day, but I don't think I've seen every episode. I've seen a lot of the episodes, but I haven't seen all of them, and in all honesty, I don't remember most of them because it's been like 15-20 years since this show was on the air, since when it first premiered. So number one, announcing this movie would get people to go to HBO Max to watch the entirety of the season on your streaming service, which makes you money via subscriptions. Then what would happen is, if you potentially released, let's say, a DVD box set like they did for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Ed and Eddie, that would get you money because people would be spending like $60 to $80 on a box set. Then let's say they release the movie on Cartoon Network or HBO Max, wherever it is, it really doesn't matter. It would either bring you more viewers to Cartoon Network, giving you more money, or it would give you more viewers and streamers on HBO Max, giving you more subscription money. And then if you release it on Blu-ray to tie it into that box set, that's more money there. So all in all, I don't see the reason why you wouldn't want to do this. I don't see the reason why Cartoon Network would say no to something like this. It's a bit different than, let's say, bringing back Galactic His Next Door, or rather codenamed His Next Door in the form of Galactic His Next Door, or bringing back Symbiotic Titan, because it's not coming back for a full series. It's not coming back for a long-form show. All it would be coming back for is a single movie, and that's it. So it would be a one-time movie event and then the show would be gone again. That's why I don't think it's as likely as, let's say, Cinematic Titan returning or Galactic His Next Door coming out, because those would be coming out for multiple seasons, hopefully. Those would be coming out for multiple airings, not just one movie event and then that's it. Essentially, the issue with the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie is they'd be putting all this money into one movie event to then basically never see the show again, or at least, and maybe if it does really well, they decide to give it like a sequel series or a revival or something like that, or maybe a spin-off show based on the movie, because we know in the movie, I think it was Mandy who's going to be the new Grim Reaper, so maybe they do a full series with her being the Grim Reaper and Grim is in retirement. I think that would be something that would be fun to see, but the challenge is, like I said before, would the network be willing to put all this money into one movie and that's it? Like I said before, I think it would be worth their while, because I think if they handled it properly, if they handled it in a way where they had a marathon of the original series on Cartoon Network, if they had a box set come out, if they had, this big premiere event for the movie, it's just going to make them money. So I feel like it would be worth their while. I feel like the narrative that, it's not worth greenlighting because it's only going to come out for one night and then that's it, I feel like that's not valid if you do it right. If you do it right, you're going to make a lot of money from people watching the movie, but then you're also going to make a lot of money from people going back to watch the old series on HBO Max, going back to potentially buy a DVD box set of the show, to watch a marathon on Cartoon Network. I feel like it would be worth their while because there's a lot of money they can make from doing this. Do I think it's the most likely thing in the world? No. Do I think it's more likely today than it was when it was first pitched a year and a half ago? Yes. Do I think it's something we'll eventually see? I don't know, but I do think, like I said, it's more likely than it was a year and a half ago, and it would be something that I personally would love to see. And hey, like I said before, if it does well, who's to say it doesn't then lead to a spin-off series or a sequel series where we see Grim retired, Mandy's the new Grim Reaper, and who knows what Billy's up to, but that would just lead to more money for the channel. So I feel like them not taking a risk to do this movie would end up hurting them in the long run, because look, let's say the movie comes out, it does well, but not well enough to warrant more Billy and Mandy. Okay, you made money on the movie, you made money on people watching The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy on HBO Max. If you guys rerun it on Cartoon Network, same thing. Release a box set, same thing. You're making money there, so nothing lost, nothing gained. It's basically a net for net. You made money on the movie, you made money on people watching the series on HBO Max, potentially a DVD box set, and that's it. But then if you do it, you make money on all those things, it does really, really well, then it could potentially lead to more content on your channel, more Billy and Mandy on your channel, which is just going to lead to more views and more money. And that's what you guys are out to make. You guys are out to make money and to make people entertained. And I feel like, why not take the risk? Why not make this movie happen? And I think one day it could happen. I'm not saying it's the most likely thing in the world, but I do think it has a potential to come, especially since Michael Owaleen is back in charge at Cartoon Network, or rather is in charge at Cartoon Network, and he was one of the people who helped to greenlit some of these shows back in the 2000s. So anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. Do you guys think that the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie is more likely than ever to actually get greenlit and to premiere on Cartoon Network or HBO Max? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.